when you know a man is having problems in the bedroom, can you automatically extrapolate that they're having problems in the boardroom or at the office?
It just comes out. You don't even need to ask. You ask them to describe their business, and they are completely part of it. There's a job they're going to. They're not even leading it. They're not even making decisions to make decisions immediately. They're waiting for meetings to make meetings upon meetings. If that's how they are professionally, I guarantee you at home, it's the same.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my very special guest, head coach, Mel Martin. Mel, how's it going, brother?
Brother, I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am here to see you.
It is fantastic.
I have been waiting for this moment, so I am grateful. I am so grateful that you've asked me on, and I'm looking forward to having a great talk with you.
Yeah. Well, Mel, I mean, the men that go through the Powerful Man program, oftentimes you're the first point of entry. You're the guy that they look up to. You're a head coach. You're a master coach. You have been for years. And so it's only right that we get you on here. The guys are excited. And those men that haven't had a chance, the luxury, I would say, of meeting sexy Mel here, just an amazing spirit, an amazing guy. And the conversation topic is fitting too. So the conversation for today, Mel, is how you lead in the boardroom is the same as leading in the bedroom.
Brother, I can't begin to tell you how true that is. It's, first of all, to touch on your point that I'm the first point of entry, I have an amazing, amazing job in that I am the very first point of entry, the onboarding beginning, right? The first connection after a person formally enrolls. And I love this role because it's a warm introduction. It's my mission to make sure that every guy who comes in with the love and the care that they deserve, right? Because they have been feeling for a very long time that they haven't received that. Or worse yet, they don't know how to receive that, right? And it's a recurring theme of unworthiness, not feeling good enough, and the story just over and over and over. So that initial warm introduction is so important. And I've had the fortune and the blessing of really gelling pretty much with every guy that's gone through our program. I mean, it's not for everyone, right? It's not for everyone, but the guys that do step up, boy, they really are ready to slowly start opening up, some more than others, because some are more emotional or introverted than others. And you got to just envelop that and embrace that. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, we obviously, with the Powerful Man, and we're going off topic a little bit, but that's okay. That, we have a very strict application process and a vetting process. People have to go through 2 phone calls before even being accepted into the program. And that's because we're looking for men that are ready. This is for a lot of us, this is our legacy work, right? We want to help men. I look at it like the Matrix, Mel. Like, we're unplugging men from this old story that they've been sold about shame and hustle and grind and all of these things about what a man's supposed to be, beat your chest, BS, and they get a chance. Of course they gel with you. You're Mel. I mean, everybody.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. No, it all starts with a simple conversation. Everything is a conversation, and you would be surprised how that simple concept and fact and process isn't available for men. To just have a conversation freely without judgment. Anyway, not to get off topic, but I just wanted to affirm that. And thank you to all of you also on the Facebook community page of The Powerful Man for allowing me into your life for a few minutes, a few times a week to share what my perspectives are and to be the best representative I can be for The Powerful Man. Each one of us on this leadership team are entirely dedicated to this because it is a legacy for all of us. So thank you to all. So there you go.
That's right, guys. So when you guys hear myself or Tim or anybody else or the coaches talk about the Activation Method Facebook group, I always screw up by saying the Facebook page and things like that. In fact, last episode, Tim was like, I would be confused, Doug, having listened to that. But Mel is the liaison. He makes sure that the questions are answered. Guys that are coming through, it is a free resource. And gosh, Mel drops so much knowledge in there on a weekly basis. Absolutely great. And one of Mel's specialties is, romantic relationships, intimacy, real intimacy. And looking at it from a a business owner, a business leader's perspective when you talk about, being executive is what we like to talk about a lot, Mel. And, these guys are at the top of the food chain in a lot of ways in their industries and their businesses. But, as you eloquently say, oftentimes to these men, usually on day 3 of the Alpha Reset or when you're coaching them, is, hey, how you lead in the boardroom is the same as you're leading in the bedroom.
Yes. And thank you for the, specialty label. I will just humbly share with you what my shared experiences are. I'm in a very unique position coming up on my 55th birthday and being a professional and an executive for many years and owned and ran and lost a 7-figure business. So I have a unique perspective on this. My marriage, wonderful woman I was married to, we are no longer together. However, that 14-year marriage also gave me an idea of what it was like to be in a marriage and also having it disintegrate into a loveless and sexless marriage in the last 3 or 4 years. So I firmly believe that how you lead in the boardroom also is a translatable energy as to how you lead in the bedroom and vice versa. Totally.
So tell us more. So obviously guys are listening to this. It's a great topic,
Sure.
Mel. And you threw this one out on the table and you and I were chatting, which is I always love. And it's so fun for me to be a fly on the wall listening to you talk to the men, because this conversation, comes up. Men, we put so much stake into our ability to be a lover, to satisfy a woman, especially our intimate partner. And you have so much knowledge and experience in this area. Talk to these guys listening about this is, okay, what exactly do you mean it's the same energy?
Let's look at the Alpha Reset itself. Okay. I talk about this on day 3, right? What is the key word? It's alpha, right? Every executive should be an alpha, whether they're an introvert, whether they're an extrovert. You don't have to be muscular and all that. I have met some CEOs and some business leaders who are alphas that look like meek little men, that look like it, but they are not. They are absolutely centered. They know who they are, right? They know their mind. They know their heart. They know their soul. They own it. And that's what it's really all about. You talk about the intimacy. There are 3 areas. There are 3 areas of your life that are impacted by you because you're the common denominator. You have your intimate circle. If you're married, guess what? Your number 1 internal customer is your wife. And then you have your internal customer structure, which are the people that you either answer to or they answer to you or you affect them at a professional level. And then the third is your external customer structure, the people that pay for your services or goods. You have to, and the most intimate one obviously is the space by which you're standing in the middle of your own tornado, you. So those relationships that you have intimately with yourself, your partner, spouse, girlfriend, whatever, lover, and then it translates into the outward rings, and then it comes back to you in the middle, all the way through. Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
Okay. Michael Douglas, Wall Street. Okay. Ben Affleck, Boiler Room. Okay. Brad Pitt, Moneyball. What do they all have in common?
Well, 1, they're all financial movies. 2,
right?
That's 1. 2 is they're leaders.
Absolutely. There are boardroom scenes in all of them.
Yep.
There are boardroom scenes in all of them. And they absolutely, pardon the pun, pardon my language, they don't take shit from anyone.
Yep.
They are risk takers. They are not afraid. They are charismatic. They own it. The one resounding theme with all the guys that come through the activation method who are high-level business owners, business leaders, CEOs, what have you, along with going into the Alpha Reset where that human interaction is with us, is this amazing unworthiness. I mean, what language did we hear recently, Doug? I feel like I'm just not good enough in my own industry. And this is a guy that's regarded at the highest level through publication. He flat out told me in the very first meeting of that warm introduction, I've done this. I'm looking at the inventory. I'm like, this guy's a badass. And then he ends it with, I just feel like I'm the dumbest guy in the room. And I don't know why am I, I'm like, whoa, time out. Whoa.
Yeah.
How did you arrive to that?
Yeah.
But the road is painful, brother. It's painful because when you're in it, you cannot even see through the trunks of the trees of the stressful forest. You have to have the ability to fly at a bird's eye view and look at your life as a chess game because there's pieces of the puzzle. There's players in the game. You get to move them where you are, where you want them. You get to choose. Men lose that ability because they are inundated with their own story.
So true, Mel. Yeah, it's kind of a sense that a lot of these guys at high levels, a little bit imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel, Mel, that for some of these guys, specifically when it talks about boardroom and bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
they have an idea of someday, right? Like someday when I get to this level or get this, everything will be okay. Then I'll be happy. I'll be able to make love to my wife, whatever it may be.
Sure. Absolutely. I lived that, right? I had an opportunity. My ex-wife, she and I had humble careers. I had a small independent training business inside of a health club that turned into this huge conglomerate. I was making about 40 grand a year. She was making 50 grand a year as a high level dental hygienist, working in people's, in that industry. She was medically retired because of carpal tunnel. We went straight down to one income. In order for her to find her new career as a realtor, there was a span of time where we were just on one income. I had this opportunity to sign into a franchise, a luxury fitness training franchise called Fitness Together. I became one of the top 5 owners for 2.5 years, ran a 7-figure business, created it. And that's when I thought, if I do this, I will become that, and I'm the man, I'm the hero. She will look at me in a certain way. I have saved us. I am this dude. I played it. I played the role, from not just from my home, but on a community level. All the while, my marriage was disintegrating. We had this massive power couple look. Oh, that's a Mel Martin production. Oh, that's Jamie Martin. If you're invited into their circle, that's big. And just the applause and the praise and the accolades, it went from community to regional to national.
Yeah.
And I ate it up because I've made it. Right? Do have B. Yeah. Totally. And all the while, my bedroom was just completely going to garbage. Hell, at 41, in the height of the stress, I started the downturn. I suffered from erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
Moi. Really?
Yeah.
And classically, God bless her, but this happened, go get checked out. Oh, it's my fault, right? Go get checked out. What's wrong with you? Ooh, there you go. One micro event, add to the story. What's wrong with you, right? Went to the doctor. My wife, right, said that I need to go check you out and maybe you can send me to a urologist. It wasn't good enough that I was going to my doctor. I had to, by the instruction of my wife, because I bought into this thing that there's something wrong with me, right? Here I was, bodybuilder, the whole thing, king of the world. Why is this happening, right? Get to the urologist. We go through the whole test. Mr. Martin, glad to say there's nothing wrong with you. Your blood work's great. I believe this is a case of stress. You have erectile dysfunction. I'm going to go ahead and prescribe you some Viagra. What? Again, me? Really? Mr. Martin, I prescribe this to men who are in their 20s. You're not that special. Oh, God. Second micro event. I'm not even that special, right? Right? I get home like I just found the golden ticket in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Honey, I've got it. Yep. I have the solution to all of our problems. There's nothing wrong with me. The urologist checked me out. Validation. I have this prescription now. We can start playing again. It's Viagra. Wait for it. Oh, God, that's weird. You can't even do it on your own now?
Oh.
Criminy. Third micro event. Right? Add to the story. Add to the story. Right?
This reinforces over and over.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. I mean, thank God I'm not the same version anymore back then as I am now, 16 years later. However, that exists. That exists. And men forget that they are powerful in their relationships. They live to work instead of work to live. When was the last time you took her away for a weekend getaway? It's never a yes or no question. It's always a reason. Wow, it's hard. I got to set up that. No, that's not what I asked you.
Yeah.
When was the last time you took her away for a weekend getaway where you were in charge? You said, honey, pack a bag on this date. We're leaving at this time. I got this. we're good. And if you did that on a regular basis, would she trust you? Would she go, oh my God, that's awesome, we're going to do that? Right? It's all about the orgasm, right? What is the number one sexual organ for a woman? It's right between their ears.
Yep, absolutely.
You need to feed them that information. You need to seduce them. You need to create the momentum. Isn't that the same in the boardroom? Totally the same. Completely the same. You need to nurture it. You need to feed the information. You need to ask for feedback. You need to be able to take it constructively. Put your ego aside. Deliver back. Say it. Why is it not? It's completely the same. I have presented quarterly presentations, serious, hardcore ones, spreadsheets, PowerPoints, the whole thing, in front of national sales directors. It is gut-wrenching and it is fearful. And those guys, they got the whole white collar, pinstripe, Brooks Brothers look from the East Coast. They don't care. They just want some numbers, and they want to know that, why should I not fire you today? Right? It's not, hey, good job. It's no, I don't care what you did last quarter. Why? What is your forecast, and why should I not get rid of you now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's alpha positioning. And that same guy, Pete Hayes, I'll call him, his name is Pete Hayes, national sales director for a company I was working with. This dude, you want to know how hardcore alpha he was? He had a daughter. As a matter of fact, he lived in New Hampshire. And he traveled to Elk Grove, California, where I was at. And he stopped for a second. Hey, guys, I got to check a text message. My daughter's flying in from New York, blah, blah, blah. It's wintertime, blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, well, is there anybody to pick her up? You know what he said? No, she's fine. She can just wait in the lobby. She has a cell phone. She'll be all right. Whoa. She was 12. Right?
Wow.
Total control. Like it was not even. And I had two boys that were barely 10. I'm thinking, oh, hell no. There's no way. But the sheer confidence and the relaxed confidence and matter-of-factness of his voice was amazing. And I look back now, it's like, that guy not only did that at that moment, but he had to go through all the offices throughout the country doing these quarterly presentations. Can you imagine the endurance, the emotional intelligence, the mental strength, and the physical, just the sheer physicality of it all, to be able to show up as that version of yourself all the time? What kind of housekeeping, personal housekeeping, do you have to have in your locker in order to show up like that? There's no disorganization or disheveledness. He is leading his marriage.
Hey guys, I want to interrupt this episode because I want to talk to you about something important. We put together a case study on how almost 300 men have taken control of their lives. They're 4Xing their business revenues, and they're having more connected and intimate sex, all without sacrificing their relationships or their health by using the activation method. Now, a lot of you have contacted us and they want to know how they're doing it. We put together this short 11-minute case study just for you, so you can see how these entrepreneurs are achieving this level of success. To get this case study, all you have to do is go over to thepowerfulman.com/11. Yep, that's 11. And you can get the case study right now. All right, it's only 11 minutes and it's going to show you exactly how these men have done it. All right, let's get back to the episode.
Well, Mel, when you hear that, I love that story, by the way.
Yeah.
And when you and I have talked about this a lot, because we get a lot of time together at these alpha resets in between sessions, but when you hear that, when you know a man is having problems in the bedroom, can you automatically extrapolate that they're having problems in the boardroom or at the office? Not being decisive in one equals not being decisive in another.
It just comes out. You don't even need to ask. You ask them to describe their business, and they are completely part of it. That's a job they're going to. They're not even leading it. They're not even making decisions to make decisions immediately. They're waiting for meetings to make meetings upon meetings. They don't even have the right people in place to win for them, and so on and so on and so on. If that's how they are professionally, I guarantee you at home, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's completely the same.
I find it to be the same as well whenever, we talk to men, when they talk about their marriage, and then eventually we dive into their business. It's the same thing. It's either they're blaming people external of themselves.
Right.
And oftentimes it seems to me, Mel, that they've kind of given up, thrown their hands in the air and relinquished control. I'm just going to be the good boy, do what I'm told. Hopefully everybody will like me. And I'm going to give in all my needs, wants, and desires and just throw it up and I'll be sedated. I'll just.
Yeah. What makes you throw your hands up? When she says, blah, blah, blah. When she says, blah, blah, blah. Where's your point of origin before you go to your office? Where does it start? It's the night before when you go lay down.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold, not intimate. Sex is a process. You're hoping you're going to get laid, right? What is that? Really, sex? What is that? It's become so foreign, right?
How do I start?
You didn't protect the intimacy. You didn't team up together and make a deal with each other and say, no matter how hard life stress is, we will not kill our intimacy, right? It starts there. And then you wake up, right? And bing, alarm goes off. First of all, you don't have an easy way to rise, right? She goes off, takes care of the kids. You go off and shower, blah, blah, blah. You meet at the breakfast table, blah. Maybe you do that and then you're out the door. Zero connection.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. And you're taking that energy and that story and that momentum into work. There's nothing sexy about that. Is there? No.
Well, then oftentimes, Mel, what these guys are doing as well, right, is they go in and then now there's somebody that's giving them a little attention at work, right? Or or something else. And it's, my wife doesn't give me attention, but Susie in the office does.
Yeah. Oh God. Been there, done that. I know that one. So what else do they do, Doug? They turn to something else. They turn to something else for that sexual satisfaction, that small glimpse of an imagination through porn, right?
Yeah.
It's the connector. It's, in my opinion, a guy watches porn, as a man who loves women, I could tell you, I've watched my share and I don't have an unhealthy relationship with it, if you will. Right.
Yeah.
So men will watch that. And the translated energy in that is, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, I wish that were me. Right. Seriously. Right.
Yeah.
And then, what the major disconnect about that is this. Oh, I wish I could do that at home, or I wish you could do that with me. Oh, wait, no, it won't happen. Let me just stay here then.
What's easier?
You're comfortable in you're comfortable in your own misery because you could trust it. You can control it. You could turn it on, turn it off whenever you want. It's not going to nag at you. It's not going to you don't have to face it. You don't have to be the man you need to be. Right. And the reason why women are the way they are when they're nagging is because you're not doing what the hell you're supposed to do, brother. And it's one of the hardest things to swallow. It is. I went through a blaming phase after I got divorced. Oh, she didn't do this. She didn't do that. Our sex life was vanilla. I could think of one time in 14 years, we had a hotel date. It was new. It was great. My God, it was awesome. That's pretty sad. You could think of one sexual encounter, not a string of them or a period in time in a marriage. It was one. I could tell you breakdown by minute when it started, when it ended, what the acts were. Right? Wow. And I had to search myself. I was searching. I don't want this blaming energy anymore. What do I need to do? Why am I not giving her my best? Why am I not giving her my best? If I needed to be the best husband I could be, why was I not giving her my best? I came to a realization that really just stunned me, which was I was never in love with her. Jamie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you ever hear this, but it all made sense to me. If I couldn't give her my best, because if I wasn't in love with her, how could I extend myself in any way? How can I be willing to do the little things that would have mattered to her? And you know what that is? The little things that matter to her, that's part of the seduction that you have to do every day.
Absolutely.
That's seductive energy because it's effortless. You want to do it. You want them to feel good, right? You want to do this. She's at the stove cooking something and you slowly walk by behind her quietly and you start with your hand at her neck and you brush your hand down her arm and you walk away. You send her a 3-word text that says, "You're on my mind." You come home like a leader and say, "This coming Friday, get a sitter. We're going out, or I'm taking you away for 3 days." But what do I do? No, figure it out, honey. I got this on this end. You need to do that. It's that. First and foremost, before a woman is a wife, before she's an employee, a realtor, or whatever the case may be, she's still a girl, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's this line in Notting Hill, one of my favorite movies, and so in movies, right?
Yep, I do.
So here's the thing about me, and I like to believe that my friends, my closest inner circle, which is you you, Tim, and Arthur, right? If I am the average of the guys I hang out with, I would like to believe that you view me as about as an alpha and masculine guy as you possibly can. And I'm very in touch with my feminine side as well. I have no shame in that, right?
Yeah.
I love romantic comedies. I can name them all. There's a line in Notting Hill where Julia Roberts is standing in front of Hugh Grant. She's this megastar. He's this humble book owner in Notting Hill. In an emotional scene by which no other woman can do, maybe Meryl Streep, she says, I'm just a girl asking a boy to love him. And he turns her down. That, brother, happens every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, it happens every day. That's when a man is not being an alpha.
And then what I find, Mel, in my experience working with the men, is two things happen. One is guys start off with all this bravado. They've been told this story, as you talked about too. You grind it out. You work so hard. You're going to get the money. Then you'll be happy. That's a bag of lies that they were sold that, it's not their fault. It wasn't true. They get disconnected from their family. And as they get disconnected, they feel as if it's just easier. They give up. It's just easier not to because they don't want to be rejected. And then, of course, the wife, in this case, we're talking about a married couple, but any woman is going to test them and push back. She's going to feel the withdrawal. He's scared of getting rejected. She's now alone and isolated, and that creates a bigger divide where you're sleeping inches from each other, yet you're miles apart.
I mean, how many couples you hear sleeping in separate rooms? I'll tell you what, that's nowhere near the pain of sleeping inches to each other and being cold.
Yes.
There's no, oh my, dude, what is the opposite of rejection? Hero worship, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to achieve this and become that, hence hero worship, right? Versus rejection. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, which is why I'm exactly where I am. They can't see that, right? Women want to trust a man. They want to trust their partner. They want to trust in the consistency. There's a reason why women don't like whiny, needy men. There's a reason why they get turned off on it, right? If you are a man who stands on his own and can make decisions without and not afraid of what happens after, and they're tough enough to make the tough decisions because they're tough enough for what unfolds. I'll tell you what, that one time when you fall on your knees, she wants to be the person. She wants to be the person to pick you up. I've had a woman tell me straight up, I was down, I wasn't feeling good, whatever. And we were in this relationship, and she said these words. She said, don't worry about that. I'm here to pick you up. That's my job. Do you have any idea how awesome it is to hear that? Unfortunately, I was in such a bad story. That was in the beginning of our relationship. We ended up on this 18-month painful journey and lesson for me, right? As to who you don't want to be when you are with an alpha woman or just a woman, period. They only have so much bandwidth to give. They only have so much bandwidth to give until you start becoming emasculated. And you know what's worse? Having affection and sex withheld and held hostage against you. I'm telling you that gap of 5-6 inches, and you're in the bed and you're facing one way, she's facing the other, and you're like craving all this attention. And because men are the most common number one love language for men is touch. Of course, out of the womb, out of the mom, the breastfed, the whole thing. Of course it is. It totally makes sense, right? It's a translatable energy of that. It's part of your origin from way back when man was first created. But if you don't nurture that and understand that simply by helping yourself and simply by doing acts of self-love to create your own value and understand that you're flawed, you're flawsome, and they're not looking for you to be perfect. They're just asking you to be great at what they're just asking you to be. That's all they're asking. If you took a poll of women, most of the time, a woman who's gone through some shared experience, especially if she's a single mom or somewhere between 30 and 40, maybe in 45, they'll tell you they don't care about the money. They don't. Because if you have the money and you act like a jerk, then you're still not loving her. Right? But if you have it down, you have a good relationship with yourself, you have a good relationship with food, you have a good relationship, you respect your body, you have a good relationship with money, right? And you value the quality time together, and you make her feel important on a regular basis as her roles change in her life, you know? I mean, just a spontaneous, honey, I got to tell you, we'd be nowhere without you. Thank you for being such a wonderful mom, but you're still the girl I married. Oh my God. Can you imagine, what she'd just be like, because again, those seductive moments that you do lead up to the moment of truth, where the kiss becomes effortless. She shows up for that. The reason why men aren't having sex as much as they want to is because women aren't willing to show up for them at the moment of truth. It's a responsibility and a chore rather than a pleasurable, fun thing. And another thing, sex is supposed to be pleasurable and fun.
Yep.
It's now become a strained thing, like a foreign object. Are you kidding me? Women 40 and over want sex. They want a lot of it. 30 and over, especially 40 and over, they want a lot of it. A lot of it. Guys, figure it out. Okay? Jeez Louise. I listen to these guys. Oh my God. But again, not to dismiss or discredit their pain and their story. That's part of their healing process. I get it. But eventually, brothers, you need to start looking at yourself as a leader in your marriage. If you can't lead your marriage, you're not leading your family, because now you've dumped all the responsibility on her, and now she's got to take care of you and them? Really?
Just another kid.
Yeah, what's going to make her want to take her clothes off and wrap herself around you? Really? Please. Dude, it's going to take a whole lot more than just a dozen roses.
a lot more than a dozen.
A whole lot more than that, brother. Come on now.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be grand. It's simple. It's the simple little things. They remember the simple little things. Anyway, yeah, there you go.
No, I love this, Mel, because I know you and I have talked about this for hours. I know what's going on, and I absolutely love it. So, Mel, what I want to do is, for the men that haven't had a chance to meet you or meet us in person, I'd like to give them a couple takeaways, 2 to 3 takeaways that they could, either thoughts or things to think about or action steps that they could take right now based on this conversation of how either they're looking at their boardroom or their bedroom, probably more likely, on how they're performing in either area. What can they do right now?
How are you talking to yourself? What's your language? Right? I don't care if we're playing Monopoly, and we have that amazing game that we play at the Alpha Race.
That is a lot of fun.
You'll never hear me say this, and slap me if I ever do. Something goes wrong, I do a bad move, I lose. Oh my God, I'm such a loser. Why'd I do that? Oh, dude. Mm-mm. That is a best practice that you have, and you stunt your own personal growth when you do that, because guess what, guys? You are exactly that at that moment. That might not seem like a big deal, but you have allowed that identity to be part of you.
Language matters. Oh,
it so matters. Speak life into who you are, right? Number 1. Number 2, take care of your body. Take care of your body. It is a simple vessel by which you can feel, as to your brain is a simple vessel by which you can think. Right? They have to work together. No, you don't have to look like Brad Pitt or Arnold Schwarzenegger or freaking, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Just take care of your body, for Christ's sakes. Get it moving. Show her that you care. Give her some reason to feel like he's sexy. I love that. Trust me. If you're not taking care of yourself, she doesn't think you're sexy, because it's more than just your body. It's how fast you're aging, how you groom yourself, how your eyes look, how often do you smile, right? If your body's firm and tight and it feels good, and your respiratory system and circulatory system feel healthy and strong, your ability to make decisions and to assess and to receive information rises massively. Again, do you want to be an eagle flying above the stressful forest, looking at it from a bird's eye view and making the decisions and moving the players in the game that you decide? Or do you want to be the prey on the ground that's running, looking over your shoulder at all the predators that are going to take everything away from you? Which one do you want to be? Which one do you want to be? I saw a great one of those billionaire success memes. It says, if size mattered, an elephant would be the king of the jungle. And it was an elephant and a lion right next to it. If size mattered, And I was, oh my, you know what I mean? Right. There are far greater, more, powerful animals than a lion. I think I saw somewhere where a rhino can kill a lion easily, right? Somewhere, I don't know. Let's say it can. However, when it comes to the mystique of being the alpha, why do we label the lion the alpha? You know why? I have never seen an unsexy picture of a lion, even when they're disheveled. I have never seen one. It is portrayed in this, the hair's blowing back, they're in the Sahara, or they're just, freaking Lion King, right? Mustafa was standing on the hill, on the rock, and all his grandeur. How did they portray him? He's sexy as hell. Strong, sleek, svelte, Energy is everything. Who you portray and project outward speaks volumes and arrives hours before you even do physically. It does. Right? So, self-language, take care of your body immediately. Those. And probably the third, here's the toughest one. The single hardest thing to do and the greatest act of self-love is forgiving yourself.
Totally.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, because you are never going to hit it all on all cylinders. You're never going to be perfect. You fully accepting your mind, how it's been conditioned, fully accepting your heart, the way you feel, fully accepting your body, every inch of it. You're asking a lot of yourself, but you know what? You can. You totally can. You are the common denominator amongst everything in your life. So why shouldn't you choose? Why shouldn't you be the one? Why would you want to leave that up to someone else, especially to an unhappy wife who isn't showing the verbal love to you and the accolades and the hero worship? Brother, you created that. I look back now, there are many moments, Doug, where I could have done something differently. We probably could still be together. Even if I weren't in love with her, I grew to love her, but I fully didn't appreciate her as a person. And my relationship with myself was poor too, right? Hindsight's, brilliant, right? But moving forward, if you're a man in a marriage where, oh my God, yeah, I'm the gatekeeper to the community page, right?
Yep.
99% of the time, work-life balance, shutting off the phone, blah, blah, blah. It's all about work-life balance, which in and of itself is an illusion and a fallacy, right? But there was one. There's always one. How do I get my wife to want me more and love me more? She's not a science project, dude. You can't just put oil in it and turn it on and all of a sudden it's going to do something different. I mean, really? You're so far removed from taking responsibility that I had to blow that up. I did. I took a snapshot of it, and on the iPhone, you can circle it. I put it on the, we'll talk about this, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not her responsibility to be turned on, to turn herself on for you. The moment of truth, and she's laying there or whatever, and you want those panties to go down and that dress to come off. I don't know about you, but that's a really sexy and fun thing. If you haven't made it sexy and fun for her to live and be with you in your company, why in the world would she want to do that in a moment of truth? Why in the world would she want to just, hey, the kids are gone. Oh my God, it's quiet. The kids are gone. We got 10 minutes. All right. Oh, the kids are asleep, and she just saddles up onto you and you guys make out on the couch and you just like you were teenagers again. Come on. They love that kind of stuff. They absolutely, they want to, Postman always rings twice, right? Freaking Jack Nicholson. Classic scene. Throws everything off the table, takes Jessica Lange, throws her on the table, has at it. I mean, that's about as savagely, primitively, as lovemaking as you can be in modern times. Every guy wishes he can do that. Every guy wishes he can do what he watches in porn. But he can't. Not because he doesn't know how. Oh, he knows how. He's seen it enough times. Because he doesn't have the language within himself and the healthy connection with her to be able to express that into their intimacy and say, honey, how can I pleasure you more? When I do this, is this how you like to receive it? To have a completely comfortable conversation with sex. I got to tell you, women love to talk about sex. As much as they love to do it, just listen to them with their girlfriends. They are brutal. Right? They'll talk about what ain't good before they tell you what is good going on at home. right? They'll rip you apart first before they talk about, oh, girl, yeah, I mean, she does it. Oh, damn, right? Before they get to that, they're shredding you already, right? So if you can get it, I mean, if you can get on Instagram, Sex Coach Kane, lovely woman, you know, she breaks down amazing dialogue. Anyway, there you go. Yeah.
Awesome stuff, Mel. I mean, as we said, we can go on and on for hours. We're definitely going to have you back. And, you know, one thing that people don't know about you probably is you've been through the activation method yourself.
Oh, twice. Yeah.
Twice been through it. And now as a master coach, living what you preach, man. You walk the walk, and I love having you on.
You're so kind. Thank you.
So, well, I'm just being honest. So, guys, you know, take what you have here from Mel and those points and re-listen to this and really think about, you know, the way you are in the boardroom directly reflects the way you are in the bedroom and vice versa. We'd love to know what you think. Go over to the Activation Method Facebook group and let us know your thoughts, how things are panning out. And you can have a conversation right there with Mel Martin. Mel, thanks again for being with us, man. That's a wrap for us today.
Much love. Thank you.